bring Alan Farmer to the stage right now, and we will do the flags.
Please stand for the presentation of the colors. Scouts and Scouters, attention. Color Guard, advance. Color Guard, halt. Post the colors. Scout hand salute. Two. Color Guard, about face. Return to post. Color Guard, halt. About face. At ease. You may be seated. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Please remain standing. I completely forgot about the pledge. On that note, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ooh. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Scouts and Scouters, please join me in the Scout Oath and Law. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. The Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2.
You may be seated. My name is Rob Neal. I'm the pastor at the Upland United Methodist Church. Would you join me now in the invocation? Lord Jesus, it said of you in Scripture that you grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and with others. That's our prayer for Dillon. The end of this journey as an eagle begins a new journey for Dillon. May you keep him. May you order his steps. May he keep on taking that next right step. May he be ever mindful that he is living as a marked man, marked by Christ, called to do his duty to God and to his country and to others. Keep him physically strong and mentally awake and morally straight for the sake of your glorious kingdom, Lord Jesus. Amen.
This is entitled 100 Scouts. It is fitting to pause for a moment to remind ourselves what scouting means in the lives of boys and in the lives of our community. Each scout brings different needs, interests, and abilities to scouting, and each takes different lessons away. But research shows us that scouting has an enormous impact on young men's lives. Listen to these statistics. Of any 100 boys who become scouts, 30 will drop out in the first year. Perhaps this may be regarded as a failure, but later in life, all of these will remember that they had been scouts and will speak well of the program. Of the 100, only rarely will one ever appear before a juvenile court judge. 12 of the 100 will be from families that belong to no house worship. Through scouting, these 12 and many of their family members will be brought into contact with a house of worship and will continue to be active in their faith all their lives. 6 of the 100 will become clergy. Each of the 100 will learn something from scouting. Almost all will develop hobbies that will add interest through the rest of their lives. approximately one half will serve in the military and in varying degree profit from their scout training. At least one will use it to save another person's life, and many will credit it with saving their own lives. 4 of the 100 will reach Eagle rank, and at least one will later say that he valued his Eagle rank above his college degree. Many will find their future vocations through merit badge work and scouting contacts. 17 of the 100 boys will later become scout leaders and will give leadership to thousands of additional boys. Only 1 in 4 boys in America will become scouts, but it is interesting to know that of the leaders in this nation in business, religion, and politics, 3 of the 4 were scouts. A nationwide survey of high schools revealed that 85% of student council presidents were scouts, 89% of senior class presidents were scouts, 80% of junior class presidents were scouts, 75% of school publication editors were scouts, 71% of football captains were scouts. Scouts also account for 64% of Air Force Academy graduates, 68% of West Point graduates, 70% of Annapolis graduates, 72% of Rhodes Scholars, 85% of FBI agents, 26 of the first 29 astronauts. Today we honor 1 scout in 100. We know his accomplishments of the past. Imagine what he will do in the future.
Good afternoon. The trail to Eagle Scout is a challenging one, and Dillon's journey started as all the others. We will now light a candle for each of the ranks, which are pictured in your program. I wear the fleur-de-lis, the symbol of scouting around the world. The 3 parts of the fleur-de-lis represent the 3 parts of the Scout Oath, which I am beginning to learn and to live. To the fleur-de-lis on my badge has been added an eagle and shield, which represents my country. Also added are 2 stars, which represent truth and knowledge. My badge is a scroll inscribed with the Scout motto, "Be prepared." Suspended from this scroll is a knot reminding me of the Scout slogan, "Do a good turn daily." My badge shows the complete Scout emblem, fleur-de-lis, eagle and shield, stars, and scroll. indicating that I have completed my basic scout training. Before me lie unlimited opportunities, just like the stars in the night sky. I can shine as brightly as any of them. I am almost an eagle. The heart on my badge shows that I've taken scouting's lessons to heart. I'm ready to spread my wings and fly. The Eagle Award is the highest and most coveted rank in scouting. Therefore, the awarding of the rank of Eagle Scout is an important and serious occasion. It is the goal toward which every youth scout works for many years, but few attain by the time of their 18th birthday. It also brings honor to the Scout's family, troop, district, and council. It is a tribute to the many adult volunteer leaders that have contributed their time, talents, guidance, and example so that Dillon could stand here today at this Eagle Court of Honor. Congratulations, Dillon. And now I would like to call forward Bob Burchell, who will present the Legend of Eagle Mountain.
Early one morning, a young boy stood at a trailhead. Before him rose a mighty mountain, which seemed all the mightier when compared with his smallness. A trail led to the mountain and then up to the incredible heights before it vanished in the clouds. On this trail, the boy could see other boys and young men, some of whom turned and beckoned him to follow. The boy began to climb, refusing perhaps to believe that he could ever reach the top. At first, the trail rose gently, and the boy had many companions. But soon he began to sweat and breathe heavily, and many of his companions turned away. And still the boy climbed. At times he climbed quickly. At times he climbed slowly. At times he had to go down a little ways to find another path or to stop a while to catch his breath. But still he climbed. The trail became steeper. The air became thinner. But the climber scarcely noticed, for he had along the way become stronger of body and hardier of spirit. And still he climbed. And finally, in the cool peace of evening time, he stood alone at the top of the world and looked around him. To the left, he saw a fiery golden sunset. To the right, he saw a diamond-studded, silky black night sky. Behind him, he saw the trail that he had followed and the hikers who were following in his footsteps. And in front of him, he saw another mountain. And then he saw another and another, and a whole procession of mountains marching off to the horizon. But the young man, for now he was a man, knew that none of these other mountains were insurmountable, that he could and would, that they would be climbed. For he had learned many skills in the climbing of the first mountain, and he would carry those skills with him long after this mountain was forgotten. And besides, he could climb those next mountains the next day. Today, though, he would rest and celebrate and ponder the journey that he had completed. And so today we pause to rest and celebrate and honor this fine young man, Eagle Scout Dillon Embry. There you are. as he stands at the top of the world and he looks around him. At this time, I'd like to call back up our Scoutmaster, Dennis Weaver.
Okay, story time. We're going to talk about Dillon and his 7-year career, a little more maybe. His mom already knows this story. She's heard it a lot of times. She's going to have to sit through it again. But when Dillon first came into the troop, of course, he was just a little guy, you know, young. And one of the first things that he tackled was cycling merit badge. In cycling merit badge, you have to do several 10-mile rides, a few 15s, 25s, and then there's a 50. And doing the 50-mile rides, a pretty big deal. We usually set that up for a whole Saturday, and usually when you have the young guys that come in, they're, like I say, they're 11 years old, it takes nearly 8 hours to do the 50 miles. So usually they're at the back of the pack, and I stay back there with them. And the thing I remember about Dillon is, for 8 hours, I heard what the world was according to Dillon. It was like his views and his telling you how the world was for 8 hours. He never stopped talking. But it was entertaining. It was entertaining, and I'll never forget that. But as he grew, and as I watched him on outings, he's the type of a scout that his mind's always working. He'd disappear, and the next thing you know, he'd come back with a stick lashed to a rock, and it'd either be a hatchet or a hammer or something to get in trouble with, whatever. But his mind's always going. And then he was quartermaster for a long time, and if you don't know what that is, they take care of the trailer and the equipment. They organize it and stuff. The trailer's never seen better days than when Dillon was in charge, and he's just always working, always doing something. So it's been a pleasure to watch him grow, and you know, he's one of those scouts that you'll have him for 7 years as a scout, and you'd never want to see him leave. You wish you could have 30 like that. It'd just be a whole different deal if you had a lot of Dillons around. But Dillon's been a good friend, and he's done a really good job. So at this time, if Gary wants to come forward, we'll do the presentation, and we're going to step over here to the center to do that. Do you want to talk first? Okay.
Well, this is where we get to have Dillon come forward. If you would please come stand to the center of the platform, podium. And if Dennis, you would join him up there, please, I'd appreciate that. The Scouting movement constitutes one of the most wholesome and significant influences on the world today. Many successful persons have been Eagle Scouts. Our former president, Gerald Ford, was an Eagle Scout, as well as many film directors. Most of the original astronauts, including Neil Armstrong, was an Eagle Scout, and many other sports personalities have been Eagle Scouts. The Eagle candidate whose efforts culminate this afternoon in the presentation of the Eagle Badge has labored long and hard to enter this brotherhood. He will assume even greater responsibilities to the ideals of honor and service after receiving the Eagle Award. And I had the honor to help guide and direct him through his Eagle Scout project. Significant hours, good plan. Sometimes, you know, not sure maybe if it worked, but continue to work the plan, and was very successful with this project. And it's interesting and exciting to see the young guys grow into that Eagle Scout, to pick up the leadership responsibilities and the maturity that it takes to become an Eagle Scout.
and that's exciting. As adults that are involved in the scouting movement, and behalf of the leaders of this troop, that's just something that we are really encouraged about and excited to see in our young men. So Dillon, now it's time to receive that Eagle Award. But before we start, I would like to have the honor guard please escort the parents to the center stage, please. At this time, I would like Dillon's mom to present Dillon with the Eagle Badge. Dillon, your parents have been undoubtedly very supportive as you progress through the ranks of scouting up to this afternoon, receiving of the Eagle Award. I know you've counseled with your father a lot over the years, and I'd like you to present him with the father's pin. And likewise, your mother's care and devotion and encouragement has been very supportive over the years on the trail to being an Eagle Scout, and I'd like you to present her with the Eagle Mother's Pin, please. Having confirmed all the readiness for the reception of this award, I'd now like to also present to you Eagle Scout Dillon Embry. If I could please have the honor guards escort the parents back to their seats. I'd now like to turn the podium over to Eagle Scout Dillon Embry. I'd like to invite Gus to the podium to do the Eagle Charge.
Eagle charge. This is, Dillon, this is a word, as you know, is one of honor and responsibility. You are a marked man. As an eagle, you have to assume in solemn obligation to your duty to your God, to your country, and to your fellow scouts, and to mankind in general. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to the obligation, you bring honor to yourself and to your brother scouts. Our charge is a responsibility you have towards yourself and fellow man. So I charge you to be a good citizen, to be a good leader, to hold the highest level you could to God and to your fellow man, to be along those who dedicate their hearts, hands, skills, abilities, and their scouting, and to America's common good. Okay, will Dillon and all Eagle Scouts here please stand and renew your Eagle Scout promise? And Dillon, join our brotherhood. Scout sign and repeat after me. I reaffirm my allegiance to the three promises of the Scout Oath. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make my training an example, and my status and my influence to count, count strongly for better scouting and for better citizenship in my troop, in my community, and in my contacts with other people. To this I sacredly honor. Okay, at this time, would all Eagle Scouts come forward? Okay. With this circle here represents over 2 million scouts that have received their Eagles. We are letting Dillon Emery enter the circle to be the part of that circle of Eagles. Congratulations. This time, Dillon's going to receive some special awards from Mr. Conrad Heslin, if he would come please to the center. Speak on the mic or use the handheld.
Good afternoon. My name is Conrad Eklund, and it's an honor for me today to be here to represent the Marine Corps League and the Veterans Forum Award for 60th Marion in presenting a couple of
I'd just like to congratulate you one more time, Dillon. It's been pretty fun to have you in the troop. I've enjoyed having you. I know that a lot of the leaders have. I'd just like to tell you, though, you know, you've reached a pretty, I mean, it's an honor to have you in our group of Eagle Scouts, but don't take this as the end. There's a lot more in life that you're going to experience. I'd just like to tell you that you've come a far way. You still have a long way to go, and it's going to be exciting. It's exciting to see you progress. And you know, when you first came into Scouts, one thing I can say that I noticed was, out of all the boys, you were one that listened. I don't mean I don't mean like when I say don't do that and you didn't do it. What I mean is, for example, every year we try and teach the boys how to start a fire. Most of those boys do not listen and pick the right material to start the fire. Dillon has always been able to start a fire because he was willing to listen and take the knowledge in. So Dillon, you've gained a lot of knowledge in Scouts, and you're going to gain a lot more in life. And somewhere between here and your life, I'd just like to encourage you to pass that on. Pass on the knowledge. That's the greatest gift you can give somebody. So I'd just like to congratulate you one more time. As we have the retiring of the flags, we'd like to invite you guys to Fellowship Hall after this, and we will have just a little get together and enjoy the celebration with Dillon. So if I can have Alan Farmer come, we will retire the flags.
Try and get it right this time. Please stand as you're able. And Scouts and Scouters, attention. Color Guard, forward march. Color Guard, retire the colors. Scout hand salute. Two. Color Guard, about face. Return to post. Color Guard, halt, about face, at ease.